Hi guys, Gavin Swallow from the Graphic Innovation Group. I'm here at the 3M Install Development Centre, joined by Jack Aylward, okay, Mr. DI-NOC. Jack, you want to introduce yourself as your official title?
Yeah, official title, Gav, is Business Development Manager for DI-NOC and Architectural Finishes. And I'm quite excited to be here today to talk you through the new DI-NOC range that we've launched in this year, in 2021.
Okay, yeah, I've heard a little bit about this, but Jack, what is new and what is exciting for us to get our hands on?
There's a lot to be excited about. You know, there's a few different new categories. So within that we have the artisan range, which is like a mortar, so really imperfect patterns that you struggle to replicate with, you know, traditional solutions. And we've been able to replicate that with DI-NOC, which is fantastic for our installers and architects and designers as well. Another range within the new patterns is the metallic. So we've had the metallic range for a long time, but some new, you know, on-trend patterns again, which is very exciting. Okay, is there anything within these that's new, that there's any technologies that have? Yeah, so it leads me really nicely into the next two, and one of those is the premium wood. So premium wood, we've had the dry woods before, which you know a lot about, which were, you know, the matte effect patterns. That's right. And what's the difference now with these premiums? Yeah, so the difference between, you know, the dry woods, which are the older ones, and the premium woods is the embossing in the material. Okay. So it feels for, you know, the consumer, when they touch it, it's really tactile. Right. And then also within it, we have the matte technology. And what we've done with that, we've tweaked the technology so when light reflects off the matte coating, it makes it even more realistic. All right, so these will make it look really different from the other woods that are in the range. Exactly. So what we're trying to achieve all the time is to replicate, you know, those traditional solutions like wood, like in mortars, and our technology, as it improves, you know, it's really difficult to differentiate between the two. And then you get all the advantages of DI-NOC from, you know, durability, cleanability. And also the ease of installation. Well, which you know a lot about. That's right, and a lot of things are going off here today, but we're going to talk a little bit more in a few seconds with what we've got in front of us. As well as the artisans and the metallics and the premium woods, what else have we got coming down the line? So there's two really differentiated patterns, as well as those, you know, ones that you've talked about that I'm really excited about. And those are the brick and the chipboard. Right. So with the brick, you know, often, you know, obviously weight, it's difficult to utilize the, you know, traditional solution, especially if you haven't got brick within the building. That's right. And the new DI-NOC enables people to, you know, utilize the film to replicate that brick effect. And with the printing, it's so realistic, it's incredible. What about the chipboard? So the chipboard, again, it's, you know, quite a on-trend design at the moment to utilize chipboards. But often one of the barriers is, you know, the durability of chipboard, and then also fire regulations. So DI-NOC enables, you know, our designers as well as end users to navigate those hurdles by using DI-NOC with the chipboard effect. And it being quick and easy to install as well. Exactly. So great, now we're going to be talking about the technology that's involved with these new patterns, and especially these matte finishes. Jack? It's these matte finishes, Gav. It's a patented, unique technology to 3M, and it's a top coat on the material. Right. So in this example here, this is one of the latest matte finishes that we have. And what the matte coating does is it's anti-dirt, if you like. It reduces the fingerprint on it. And why that's really important for our customers is that on trend at the moment, you'll probably know, is, you know, the likes of the ultra matte black. And one of the pain points is, you know, fingerprint there. So when designers specify it, that's one of the things they're quite cautious about. Yeah, that's right, yeah. So our DI-NOC range, the MT range, negates that. So it gives them confidence to specify and utilize, you know, matte finishes in, you know, potentially high traffic environments where there'll be a lot of people touching it, potentially it can get dirty. So we've expanded that range and give them, you know, a lot more freedom and, you know, creative license with our material, which is really exciting. Tell us about the AR abrasive resistance range. So the AR range, you know, that is designed for very high traffic areas, so abrasion resistant. What that means is there's an extra top layer on the film, which protects it. So if you imagine, you know, an application in, say, a tube environment in London or a metro environment in Japan, there's incredibly high footfall.
Okay.
So we'd recommend abrasion resistant range in that type of environment to give you that extra level of protection.
Thanks, Jack. So the AR range has that extra special layer on top. So tell me about the durability about the rest of the range.
The rest of the range of DI-NOC typically comes with a 12-year durability statement, and that's incredibly long lifetime for the product. So what we do to ensure that is we regularly test it for what our end customers and installers are looking for. So we test it against wear and tear, impact, and also UV resistance. And then the other factor, with DI-NOC, obviously it's incredibly durable, and it's something that's really important to ourselves as 3M is the conformability. So it would be great, from your experience, how do you find the conformability of DI-NOC?
That's right. I mean, no matter what the patterns are, they have to be able to conform to new shapes, being able to take around tight corners like these, and obviously when we're trying to do butt joins, we want a seamless finish. So as long as the conformability is there, it means it's great for us to work with.
Fantastic, Gavin. I think that's a really good point around that butt joint, because what we're trying to do is replicate, those traditional solutions.
Yeah.
So with a wood, and from experience, you don't want to see a join in that material once you've applied, because the client's expectation is that, if they specify wood or stone, it looks like the real thing.
That's right, and they want that seamless finish, and we can deliver that with these products.
Fantastic.
Just going back to then the durability of the products, how do you find out how good and how it works?
So as I said earlier, we're always testing DI-NOC for durability. And what we do, we test it on wear and tear, impact, UV, and then also the cleanability of the product, especially in the environment that we're in today.
Right.
So when we look at that, we have independent testing, and then we also test against other competitive products.
All right, other products that are in the market.
Other products are in the market, and that might be direct competition. So architectural finishes that are similar or profess to be similar, or in indirect competition, so like laminate, veneer as well. So just give you insight into what that testing finds, and I'll focus today on direct competition, so similar films.
Yeah.
So if I break it down from a wear and tear perspective, we do something called a taper test. So what that is, it's a machine that does cycles on the top of the material.
All right.
So what that's trying to achieve is everyday wear and tear. So if someone was brushing past, a particular wall,
a high traffic area.
Exactly. And so what we test is DI-NOC, and this is versus a competitive product.
Okay.
And you can see from the the sample here, this is after a couple of thousand cycles of the taper test, and you can see how well DI-NOC performs.
That really is dramatic, the difference between the two.
It is, and what we say is it's 2 times stronger. So when you're looking at products in the market, it's really important to bear in mind what differentiates DI-NOC. So from a wear and tear perspective, we're talking 2 times stronger.
Wow, that's a big difference.
It's a big difference, and so we've got that as wear and tear. So we then look at impact and how impact differs from wear and tear. Wear and tear is, as I say, brushing past a wall.
Constant contact.
Constant contact, exactly. Impact differs in a sense that it's like someone hitting a suitcase into a door. Okay. So we do a lot of applications in hotel environments. That's really important. And again, it's a similar test, and dropping ball bearings from different heights to replicate that suitcase hitting that hotel door.
Oh, that's what the kind of test you use?
That's the kind of test we use.
All right.
And again, from the results of that, we find again that DI-NOC is 2 times stronger than similar direct competitors.
Wow.
So giving that customer peace of mind, once DI-NOC has been applied, it's going to last the durability that they need.
Right, understand.
And the final one I want to touch upon is the UV. Again, UV people associate with just being outside, but that also affects interiors. We see it in day-to-day in bright lobby environments, how the interiors can wear significantly over time due to UV fading. So the testing on DI-NOC, we found for the exterior film, it's 6 times more.
Even more, wow.
6 times more UV stable than, direct competition. That's really important. And that's what we urge, customers, installers to consider when they're choosing, the product for the application.
Yeah.
How long do you want it to last? How is it going to perform?
Where it's situated.
Exactly, because a lot of the time, customers making a significant investment, to refurbish, whether it's existing fixtures and fittings, or even when it's a brand new environment, it's a big cost, even when utilising DI-NOC. So they need to ensure that they choose the right product to last as long as possible. Hence why we do such extensive testing on DI-NOC. Right,
makes perfect sense. Perfect sense.
And the final thing I'll talk about is not particularly, the durability. It's more on the cleanability. The environment that we're in at the moment, being able to clean products, obviously is really important for our customers.
Yeah.
And we have extensive, so we actually manufacture some cleaning products 3M ourselves.
Okay.
And what we use is, we test DI-NOC against those products to see how they perform. So we've got extensive data online that's available for our customers to share out and understand that they can use disinfectant with DI-NOC and clean away.
And it has no detrimental effect to the surfaces.
No, exactly. As long as that disinfectant's used in the right way, then it had no detrimental effect at all on DI-NOC.
Brilliant. Excellent.
So we've talked about conformability today. What are your top tips, Gav, if you like, when it comes to DI-NOC application?
Right, well, I mean, one of the most common things and things we bring up within the training is the fact that people need to understand that there's an adhesion test that needs to be done, whether this just be a simple strip and left over time to make sure it bonds, or getting an official adhesion test kit from 3M and making sure the substrate's good enough. Additional to this, it's then making sure that the surface is prepped. If it's damaged, if it's filled and sanded smooth, the smoother the surface, the better the aesthetics of the product once it's on. And then once we've done all this and we make sure it does bond, making sure we're using the correct primers. And we're talking about using primers on edges, returns, corners, and always remembering to finish off on the back with primer, and especially where there's overlaps and joins, we need to make sure we're priming in there too. This ensures that obviously the majority of the products stays well and stays where it's supposed to.
Fantastic. All right, they're great tips, Gav. Thank you very much. So one more thing to talk about with regards to DI-NOC versus other products on the market, particularly direct competition, is the dimensional stability of the product itself. So DI-NOC is tested, and this is the simple test that we do. We do scores in the material, put it under heat, and the more those scores expand, is the less dimensionally stable the product is.
Right, I understand.
So from our testing, we see that DI-NOC is 5 times more stable than other products in the market.
Wow.
So, really important part in giving credibility and confidence. So how does that work for you as an installer, knowing that?
That's great, not only for us as installers, but for us that are selling it and talking to clients, is the fact that when products that we are installing and we're using are stable as much as they are, it means there will be no shrinkage, there will be no little movement within the product over the term of its life. And this simple test, along with all the other tests and the information you're given, make it really easy for us to be confident in the products as we're using them.
I want to talk about the endorsed installer network that we have globally with 3M DI-NOC, and what it means to be a part of it and why become a member of this network. I suppose the best place to start really is, rather than myself describing all the advantages to it, is pass it over to you, Gav. You've had a lot of experience with 3M, you're part of the endorsed network. What value do you see from being a member?
Well, I mean, simply just at this point, if it's being part of a community that actually supports each other, regardless of what project you're using, and being able to share information. And then on top of that, the brand itself, having the backing from 3M themselves, and understanding that their information and their support as you take on any size project is worth its weight in gold. Okay, and then obviously beyond that, when new technologies and new products are out, we're usually the first ones to find out about this.
Yeah, it's fantastic to hear that, Gav, because that is the whole purpose of the network, is to help and support our partners, giving credibility. We also try and drive specification globally. So when we get specification with a big brand and we roll it out, we maintain that level of service that the likes of yourselves and other members of the endorsed network can give them.
That's right.
to become a member, what is the process? How do installers like yourselves become part of the DI-NOC endorsed network?
Yeah, well, simply the criteria is a case of making sure you take the training, the 3M DI-NOC training, and you can do this at many of our installer centres, and you can take that training then and your experience and then apply to take the endorsed accreditation to gain the 3M brand and be part of the team and part of the network up and down the country.
Thanks, Gav. And I think that's key. Those 2 days will give you a foundation to work off, and once you get more and more experience with DI-NOC, like yourself, we do encourage people to come and do the assessment and become part of the endorsed installer scheme. So one big advantage of being part of the endorsed installer network is the social media reach that we offer.
That's right.
So we have over 500,000 followers across our different platforms, and that's Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. Yeah. And the content that we share on those platforms is only endorsed installers. So any case studies, videos or imagery that like yourselves or other endorsed installers produce, we will share it. And what that does, that helps create engagement, drive lead generation for those sometimes smaller businesses who are trying to extend that reach. And on that point, as we recruit more endorsed installers, ourselves as Frame, we want to help them engage their networks. So what we offer is support around how to produce imagery and video content, and then also from simple things like hashtag, how to utilize them and maximize when you post. How do you get as big an audience as possible?
That's right, and this is critical, especially like you say, when smaller businesses are trying to grow and develop into this area. That exposure is priceless. So Jack, we've kind of gone through it from an installer's point of view, but how is this working with designers and architects?
It's a good question, Gav. The product is an interior design solution. So all the patterns that, the recent ones that we've launched, and even the portfolio as a whole is geared towards them. We have a global database of architects and designers who, influence anything new that we launch. So take an example of the ultra matte black. As I said, one of the pain points for architects and designers was fingerprints and dirt. What we've looked to do is try to eradicate that for them. Right. So it's enabling them to be as creative as possible. DI-NOC takes away the barriers for them around weight. So if you want stone ceilings, obviously with a traditional stone, you're not able to do that. That's right. But with DI-NOC, that enables you to do that. It takes away a lot of the cost as well. Certain traditional solutions are really expensive and not really feasible on many projects at the moment. So DI-NOC offers something different for architects and designers to use.
Any other benefits to the architects?
I think the important point is, especially at the moment in the current environment, where budgets are constrained, but there's still the need from retail and hospitality to attract customers back. DI-NOC offers a value and engineering option. Right. So architects, designers have still got the same challenges for them, from their clients to have a very impactful design and the end product to be aesthetically very pleasing. And DI-NOC offers that advantage in terms of the ability to reutilize existing fixtures and fittings.
That's right.
But still deliver aesthetically a fantastic final product. And one of the other things I'd want to talk about, which is again a big advantage for architects and designers and end users, is the speed of application. And I suppose that passes it really back to you, Gav. From a speed of application, how quickly can you achieve the final look?
That's right. Well, depending obviously on the installation and the size of the project we're talking about, the biggest benefit is the fact that majority of the time these stores, or if it's a reimagine and redesign, don't have to shut down. Work can be done and we can install this product while they're still open. We can work through the night and achieve that look without any additional costs and benefits like that.
And that's a great example, Gav, because by doing that overnight, the business doesn't have to close, so there's no lost revenue there. And that's really important for small businesses, but then even large hotel owners, they are focusing on occupancy rates in hotels and the ability to not have to shut for prolonged periods by utilising DI-NOC offers a significant advantage. So hopefully that answers your question around not just the installer piece, but architects and designers as well.
It definitely does. Thanks a lot, Jack.
Thanks, Gav.
So hot topic right now, sustainability, making sure that we're not throwing things away, we're reusing. How does DI-NOC benefit that?
It's a really good point, Gav. Sustainability is obviously a really important part of the environment we live in today.
That's right.
And it's one of the focus areas for 3M as a whole, but DI-NOC will play a key part in this space. And where we see it playing a key part is exactly what you're talking about, is reutilising existing fixtures and fittings. And why that's so important is, during refurbishment, one of the key impacts on the environment is landfill. So if you take this cupboard door as an example, traditionally people would rip existing units out, put them into landfill, produce brand new, and each of those steps in the process has an impact on the environment. So if you look at DI-NOC, DI-NOC gives people the ability to revitalise, in this example, this door, with whether it's a new wood effect, stone, there's a massive palette out there that you can use. And once you've revitalised it with the durability that DI-NOC offers, it's a long-term solution. So that cupboard door, whereas in the past it would have been put into landfill, that will be in existence for another 10 to 12 years, which is fantastic. And this has been recognised by something called LEED, so LEED, which is an accreditation scheme mainly in the US, but that gives you credits for when you refurbish using DI-NOC towards a sustainability statement around that building. So really interesting and something that's really appealing to both architects and designers, and also our large customers who have got a big focus on corporate goals around what they want to achieve from a sustainability angle.
Brilliant, spot on. Thank you, Jack.
Yeah, thanks, Gav.
Thank you for today. It's been great. Next steps you need to be concentrating on is getting yourself booked on some training, okay, and then moving on to take your endorsed assessment and making sure you can carry the 3M brand. Jack?
Yes, fab, Gav. I think, as I say, we've covered a lot of things today, from durability, cleanability of the product. So what I'd encourage you to do is have a look online, particularly at the technical bulletin, because that's where the wealth of information is that you can share with your customers.
That's it. And speaking of online, have a look at the social media feeds, especially across all platforms. It'll be a bit of inspiration for you, and you can then get to see the levels that you can achieve.
Fantastic, Gav. And I think finally, any questions, feel free to contact either Gav or I, and really appreciate you joining us today. Thank you very much.
Thanks.